Mathematics, Term 3, Lesson 11, Level 2. Measurements. So the first exercise is asking about the zoo weighing. So the vet has come to weigh the animals at the zoo. So we've got these different types of animals from the zoo. So we've got a lion here, we've got a tiger, we've got a hippo, we got a dog, we got a horse, we got a chimpanzee, we got a rhino, and underneath each animal is how much the animal weighs. So, for example, rhino weighs 650 kilograms, or this tiger over here, it weighs 240 grams. Now, for our first activity, what we got to do here is fill in the correct sign. So imagine these little signs. So imagine these signs, these two signs, they're sort of like alligator mouths. They try and eat the bigger number. So the mouth tries to eat the bigger number. So we can use these mouths, these crocodile mouths, or we can use this equal sign. Now, these signs, by the way, there's another name for this. So this sign over here, the first one, that means something is less than something. This one over here means something is bigger than something else. So there's a different order. And we are going to use these signs to make these number sentences correct. Okay, so for example, let's have a look at the line here. Let's find the line. Line's over here, up here, 205 kilograms. Now let's find the chimp, otherwise known as the chimpanzee, which is the monkey. It's over here, 125 kilograms. Now, which one's heavier? Is 205 kilograms heavier than 125 kilograms? Or is it 125 kilograms heavier than 205 kilograms? So you should have figured out that 205 kilograms is more because a lion is heavier than a chimpanzee. That means our crocodile mouth has to come and try and eat the lion. So what we do here is we draw a crocodile mouth here. Move that out of the way. Crocodile mouth tries to eat the lion because the lion is heavier. So that's the symbol that we draw. And the chimpanzee is over here. So the crocodile mouth is trying to eat the lion. That's how you can imagine it. And we are going to try the next one as well. So we have a horse and we have a rhino. Now let's find the picture for the horse. So over here, horse is 150 kilograms. Our number's there. Rhino is 650 kilograms. So from these two numbers, the bigger one is the rhino. Rhino weighs more, is more heavy. So it weighs 650 kilograms. That means our crocodile mouth has to try and eat the rhino. That means our symbol should be this one. So see how the crocodile mouth here, symbol, tries to face the rhino. And this means, the number sentence means, the horse is less than the rhino. And if you didn't understand the first one for the lion and the chimpanzee, this one means the lion is heavier than the chimpanzee or the chimp. And let's see. Let's find another example. So maybe we'll do one of these harder ones here. So a chimp plus a dog is what compared to a rhino? So this time we have to add a chimp and a dog together to find the one weight. So the chimp is over here, 125 kilograms. And we've got a dog over here, 50 kilograms. So 125 plus 50, what would that be? We'll write our answer over here, or actually over here, just to make sure. And we can, after we find that, we can find the weight of the rhino, which is already over here, 650 kilograms. And we can write it over here, 650. And then find out which one would be heavier. So please pause the video and have a try at finding which one's heavier. And then we're quickly going to go through what symbol you're going to write down. Right, so let's go through that one if you're ready. If not, we'll just wait a bit more. Right, let's go through that one. So the chimp plus dog, what symbol should we put there? So we should have found out that the chimp plus the dog is 175 kilograms. Now our rhino weighs 650 kilograms. That means our rhino is bigger, weighs more, so our crocodile mouth should be facing the rhino. And this number sentence means the chimp and the dog is less than the rhino. Now, can I get you guys to just quickly try the other questions here? So pause the video and have a try. And then after you pause the video and have a try, we're going to go through the answers for all of them together, just to see how you went and to fix up any mistakes that you might have made. Right, let's go through the solutions for these questions here that we've just done for the crocodile mouths. So looking at here, so we've already gone through number one. Lion is more than the chimp. We also went through the second one as well. Let's go to number three. Let's find the tiger. So tiger's over here. Now, tiger versus the lion, which one's heavier? Tiger is 240 kilograms. Lion is 205 kilograms. Looking in between these two numbers, we'll find that 240 kilograms weighs more than 205 kilograms. That means the tiger is heavier than the lion. That's why our crocodile mouth is trying to eat our tiger, and the number sentence would mean the tiger is more than the lion. Now let's have a look at the hippo versus the rhino. Now our hippo is over here. It weighs 500 kilograms. Our rhino is over here, is 650 kilograms. Which one weighs more? Well, looking at these two numbers, the rhino weighs more at 650 kilograms, which means our crocodile mouth tries to eat the rhino. And that means, the number sentence means the hippo is less than the rhino. Now, I've already done the chimp and the dog versus the lion. And let's do the chimp and the horse. So what do we get when we add those up? Well, when we add the chimp and the horse, so the chimp is 125 kilograms plus the horse, which is 150 kilograms, we get 275 kilograms, the chimp and the horse. Now, what about the tiger? How much does a tiger weigh? Well, tiger's up here. Tiger's 240 kilograms. So is 275 kilograms more than 240 kilograms? Yep, 275 kilograms weighs more. That means our crocodile mouth would try and eat the chimp and the horse, since together they weigh more than the tiger. Now, our number sentence in words would be the chimp and the horse weigh more than the tiger. Now, let's do the last one. The last one was a bit tricky. It used a symbol that we haven't done so far for the previous questions. It was an equal sign. What this equal sign means is that if we found the weight of a hippo and the weight of a horse, so let's go up here. Sorry, not a rhino, but a hippo. Hippo's up here, 500 kilograms, plus a horse over here, 150 kilograms. So 500 plus 150 kilograms would be 650 kilograms. So our hippo and horse is 650 kilograms. How much does our rhino weigh? Well, let's find the rhino. It's over here. Oh, our rhino weighs 650 kilograms as well. That means they must be equal. So that's why we're going to equal sign there. That means the hippo and the horse weigh the same as the rhino. So just replay any part that you don't, that you missed out or you don't understand. And if you're fine to move on, then we will move on to the next activity, which is exercise 2. What's the time, Mr. Wolf? So can you draw the hand on the clocks to show these times? So I want you guys to try and make sure, remember on a clock, we have a long hand and we have an hour hand. I mean, a short hand for the hours. So the long hand tells how many minutes there are. And remember, each of these numbers, it goes from 5. So this number 1 stands for 5 minutes. Number 2, 10 minutes. Number 3, 15 minutes. Number 4, 20 minutes. Number 5, 25 minutes. Number 6, 30 minutes. Number 7, 35 minutes. Number 8, 40 minutes. Number 9, 45 minutes. Number 10, 50 minutes. Number 11, 55 minutes. And 12 is 60 minutes, a full hour. So it goes all the way around. And we're going up by 5, so we're skip counting by 5 each time. Now, our hand, which is the short hand, so make sure that you have got 2 different sized hands, so like 2 different arrows pointing at it. And remember, the arrows must start from the middle here and go out to the number that you pick. So for example, the first one, the time here is 5 to 5. What does that mean? Well, it means our hour hand is really close, pointing to the 5 over here. So our hour hand, which is the short one, remember, the short arm, the short arrow is pointing very close to the 5. And our long arm, which is for the minutes, it's pointing all the way up to the 11, going all the way up there for 11. Because 11 means 55 minutes. Now, 55 minutes, 1 whole hour, we're going to remember, is 60 minutes. So we'll want to find how many more minutes. So from 55 minutes to 60 minutes, how many minutes do we have to add? So you would have had to add 5 minutes. That means there's a gap between of 5 minutes. That means our number 11 stands for 55 minutes. So our long hand should point at the 11. Now, I want you guys to try next ones. So for example, 10 past 8, that means 10 minutes past 8 o'clock. Or 20 past 10, so that's 20 minutes. So long hand should be pointing at 20 minutes. And a short hand should be pointing at 10 hours. Or 20 to 12 over here. That one's a bit tricky. That means our long hand should be pointing at the number. That means there's 20 minutes left to a full hour. So to find that out, you do 60 minus 20. And how many minutes do you get? So that one's for homework. Just replay the video in case you don't remember, this is my hint. Now, next one's 10 to 3. So 10 minutes left to 3 o'clock. What would that be? I bet you guys would watch the clock in your classroom to try and figure out when it's nearing 3 o'clock, and then school ends and you can go home. What time was that? 10 to 3, 10 minutes left. So these clock questions, besides the first one that we did together, will be your part of your homework. And after you've done those, we can use them to try and answer some of these questions here. Okay. Actually, we might do these questions. So I might get you to have a try of these questions after I read each question out loud. And then after I read each question out loud, I want you to pause the video and have a try. And once you've had a try, unpause the video. And then we're going to do that for all 4 of these questions. And after we go through all 4 questions, we're going to go for the answers to see how you went. So let's start with letter A. So how many minutes are in 1 hour? Letter B, question B. How many hours in 1 day? Question C, can you work out how many minutes are in half an hour? Question D, how many hours are in 2 days? Right, so let's go for the solutions for these 4 questions. Okay, so question A, how many minutes are in 1 hour? There are 60 minutes in 1 hour. So this is something that you should remember. Always remember there are 60 minutes in 1 hour. Now, question B, how many hours in 1 day? Well, there are 24 hours in 1 day. Question C, can you work out how many minutes are in half an hour? Yep. So yes, we can. There are 30 minutes in half an hour. Remember, half an hour is half of the 60 minutes. So half of 60 is 30 minutes. So don't forget that. It's very important to remember. Now D, how many hours are in 2 days? So since we know that there are 24 hours in 1 day, in 2 days, that would be the same as 24 plus 24. And we would get 48 hours as our answer. Right, so that was question D. Let's move on to the next activity, which is exercise 3, comparing capacities. So let's have a look at these. So these 2 letters, ml, what they stand for is milliliters. So you might see this on like maybe a bottle of soft drink, or like some Fanta can, or like Coca-Cola can. So on the Coca-Cola can, you might see some symbol that says 375 ml. That means that ml means milliliters. So on that can of soft drink or Coca-Cola, it would mean 375 milliliters of Coca-Cola are inside this can for you to drink. And what does this big L mean? Well, this big L is for like big bottles. So like a big bottle of milk could stand for 2L. That means 2 liters, okay? Now, don't forget, very important, that there are 1,000 milliliters in 1 liter. So I've written over here that there are 1,000 milliliters equals 1 liter. That's just for future. We don't really need it for this question. We just got to know that 1 liter is the same as 1,000 milliliters. Okay, so milliliters is bigger than just one milliliter. Now, what we got to do for this question is we got to write the names of the objects in order from largest, so from biggest to smallest capacity. So how much water or how much liquid they can hold inside. So I'm going to help you with the first two. So let's have a look at all these objects, see which ones holds the most. Well, looking at all these, I think the bathtub here would hold more, 100 liters. So, and we've got here, it says largest on this side at the top, and the smallest is at the bottom. So we go from the top is the biggest, going down to the smallest. So that means in the first box, we write the biggest, we write bathtub. And that means in the second one, which one is the second biggest? Well, look at this. It's the bucket, 10 liters. So write the bucket in the second box. So I'll give you an example. Bathtub is the largest at the top box, and buckets in the second box. So you can just quickly jot that down. Right, let's move on to the next part. So I want you to finish the rest of these boxes. So fill in the last 4 columns, 4 boxes for homework. And we're going to move on to the next part, which is called exercise 4. Fill in the piggy banks. Can you find 4 different ways to make 50 cents? So draw the coins in the piggy banks. So I want you to pause the video and have a try and draw the coins inside the picture of the pig for the first one. And after you've had a try, unpause the video, and we're going to go through an example of what you could have done for this one. So just for this one, not the second part. That one's going to be for homework. So please have a try now. Right, so let's go through some examples of how to do the first activity for exercise 4. So examples could be 20 cents plus 10 cents. That adds up to 50 cents. So that's one way of doing it. Another way we could have done it is 10 cents plus 10 cents plus 10 cents plus 10 cents. That's 40 cents. Plus 2 more 5 cents, which would be 50 cents. Another way we could have done it is 5 cents plus 5 cents plus 20 cents plus 10 cents plus 10 cents. That adds up to 50 cents as well. And another way we could have done it is just add 50 cents, 150 cents in that piggy bank. So that's what we could have done. There are some other ways that aren't here. So there's more than just these 4 ways that you could have gotten your answer. And we'll double check that when you submit your homework. Okay, so the next part, I want you guys to do this for homework. So I just quickly read the question. So can you find 4 different ways to make 80 cents? Draw the coins in the piggy banks. So that's for homework. This time we're trying to make 80 cents, not just 50 cents, so it's more. Once again, that was for homework. And we're going to move on to the treasure map. So what we have here is we have some instructions for the next page. So this is the treasure map over here that we have to color in and like make some pictures or images onto here to make it more colorful. So we're going to follow the instructions. So what we got to do here is, let's see, let's read the instructions. So draw out the pictures and use the location instructions to place the different things on the treasure island map. So what we're going to do is we're going to draw some pictures on it by following the instructions here. So actually we might move on to this version of it. So just making sure this was meant to be these two for 11 and 12. We must have forgotten to fix that. That's the. So what's going to happen here is I'm going to read each of these instructions out loud. And just to give you guys an idea, we won't actually go for the answer for this, but I will read it out loud. And later on, when you do this for your homework, you can replay the part where I say these instructions out loud in case you find it hard to read the instructions here. And we're going to start with number 1 now. So number 1 is put the compass in the bottom right-hand corner of the map with north facing the top of the page. The bottom right-hand corner, draw a compass. So compass, if you don't know, is like a circle, and you got like an arrow pointing north, south, east, west, telling you which way to go. I'm going to move on to the next one. Number 2, place a palm tree in the middle of the island. Number 3, put the bridge across the water at the bottom left-hand side of the island at Skull River. Number 4, put the pirate ship on the edge of the land in the middle of Island Cove. Number 5, put the whale in the middle of the water on the right-hand side of the island. Number 6, put the volcano in the middle left-hand side of the island at Volcano Alley. Number 7, put the pirate flag underneath the pirate ship on the island. Number 8, put a palm tree above the volcano on the left-hand side. Number 9, put the tribal statue on the left-hand side of Treasure Point at the top of the island. Number 10, put the shark on the opposite side of the map to the whale. Number 11, put the cave next to the palm tree above the volcano. Number 12, put the hut at the bottom of the island next to the right-hand side of the bridge. "13, put the treasure below Doom Lake. Number 14, put the red X marks the spot on top of the treasure. Number 15, put the pirate next to the treasure and the red X on the left-hand side. And lastly, number 16, put the waterfall above Doom Lake. Right, so those are the instructions for the Treasure Island map. And we're going to move on to the next activity. So past this map, we're going to move on to the maths challenge, which I will read out to you guys. So let's start. So mystery at Eagleton Castle. It's the most awaited day of the year for pupils of St. Alson Academy. The Year 4 class is going to Eagleton Castle for their school trip, and they cannot wait. They have everything they need and are eager to get on the coach, so the coach is the bus, and get going. The teachers are very relieved when they finally arrive, get parked, and head for the castle entrance. Everyone is repeatedly counted, and finally they are allowed into the castle ground. The children already know which group they are in and gather together. They spend the morning looking around the castle kitchen, making bread, visiting the scary dungeons, and making each other jump in the haunted tower. But disaster has struck. Someone has sneaked away the birds of prey enclosure. Each bird is kept in its own hutch. What's that? All the birds to the hutches are open. All the birds of prey have flown away. So the hutch is like a bird cage where we keep the birds in. And birds of prey means like eagles or like other types of birds that like eat mouse, like mice. And let's continue on with reading. It is our job to use the suspects' descriptions and solve the maths clues to identify the mystery birds of prey releaser. Good luck. Right, so let's move on to the activity here. So just like last week, we have the descriptions of the suspects. We have the name of the person here. Whoops, name. And we got male or female. So if they're a girl or a boy. We got the height, so how tall they are. So 138 centimeters, 143, all the way going down. So there's quite a few names here. We also got the eye color. So what color is the eye? Is it green, blue, brown, or another color? What type of group they're part of with the other students? Are they part of the vulture group, harrier group, maybe even the hawk group? Or I see an eagle here, eagle group. That means they're which group they're part of to explore the castle. So like which friends they're with and what their friends group is called. Dominant hand, that means which hand they like to use to write and draw with. So their right hand, or they use their left hand. And once again, every time we find one of those clues, we got to cross out the ones that don't work. So go big cross out for the ones that don't work. And then at the end, you'll be left with the name of the person who let all the birds of prey escape. All right, so let's go on to clue 1. To meet or not to meet. So here are some 2D shapes. So 2D shapes are like circles, squares, rectangles. Add together the number of pairs of parallel lines in each row of shapes. Then find answers in the table below to solve the first clue. So what we got here is, so parallel lines means like two lines that run in the same direction and they never meet each other. So let's have a look. So for example, you can imagine like this little thing that I just made up is a rectangle. And now this side on the top goes in one direction. So it'll keep on going in that same direction. And the bottom line will also go in the same direction. So going from left to right always, it will never like somehow become a diagonal. So it won't suddenly go and cut across the top line. It will always follow in the same direction as the top line. And that means they are parallel lines. That means these two will never meet each other, never touch each other. They'll always stay the same distance apart. Right, so we might do the first two together just to help you guys have an idea. So are there any parallel lines for the first one? So let's look at this. Any parallel lines here for the first one? So I'll let you guys actually have a try, and then we'll go have a try of the first two and write down how many pairs of parallel lines you think there are. And then soon we'll go through the answer for the first two. Right, so let's go for the answers for the first two, just to see if you guys understand. If not, that's fine. We can go through it together. So the first one, there's actually one pair of parallel sides. Do you want to know why? Well, think of this shape as a square or like a little rectangle. And this bit is like a circle that's added on. Now this side at the top here is parallel to the bottom side. They're parallel because they will never touch and they're going in the same direction forever to infinity and beyond. Okay, so that means there's one pair of parallel sides. Now for a triangle, these sides will always touch each other at the corners here. So these corners here, they're going to touch each other. That means they're not parallel lines. Okay, so parallel lines never touch each other at corners. What about this? This one, we have a curved line and a straight line. these two lines touch at corners, which means that there's no parallel line in this shape. That means we only have one pair of parallel lines here, and write the number 1. Let's have a look at the second question. So here we have a triangle. Now triangles, do they have any parallel lines? No, they don't, because all the lines, they touch each other at a corner, and so they're always touching each other. That means at the corners, that means there's no parallel lines. Now this square, this line is parallel to this line here at the bottom, because they will never meet, and they'll always go in the same direction. Now this line over here is parallel to this line over here. That means these two lines are parallel. That means so far we've got 2 pairs of parallels, so the ones on the left and right, and the ones on the top and the bottom. That's 2 pairs so far. What about in this sort of a circle? So in this circle, we have a curved line, and we've got 2 straight lines, but the 2 straight lines touch each other at a corner. That means they're not parallel. And the curved line is not parallel as well with any of the other lines, because they touch each other at a corner. That means we only have 2 pairs of parallel lines for these 3 shapes. Now, I want you to do for homework the next 2 questions. And using those numbers of pairs that you find, you can match the number of pairs to a word here. So for example, we found 1 pair. So we can find the word the, and we write the word the on the line. We also found the word 2 pairs for the second one. So for the triangle, square, and the circle, like part of a circle, we only found 2 pairs. So we use the word culprit. That will spell out a sentence, the culprit. And what would come next? What's the next word? We'll find out using the pairs here to find a clue, to form a clue. And after we find the clue, we can cross out the 1, the people that don't match underneath the clue. Or, yeah, that's what you do. Just like last week. And we're going to move on to clue 2. So clue 2 is dungeon code. So to solve clue number 2, crack the code to the dungeon and see what you can find. So work out the calculations and color in the answers in the table below. Rearrange the letters to spell out the answer in the second clue. Now, I want you guys to have a try the first 3. So solving these, so adding or take away. Maybe get some scrap paper or working out paper to try and work it out. And then we're gonna, after you've had a try, so pause the video, have a try. And after you've had a try, unpause the video. And we're gonna go for the answers for the first 3, just to double check that you understand how to do this question. Right, so let's go through the first 3. So the first one, 120 plus 40, that is equal to, so we're looking at the number in the tens place, which is a 2, stands for 20. And this 4 here in the tens place, so 2 plus 4 is 6. So in the tens place, in the middle, is a 6. We keep that 1 from 120. And in this place, the third place, it's 0, so we keep it as 0. And we get 160. Now B, 139, take away 20. What do we get? We get 119. So what are we minusing here? Well, in the 3 middle here, we are minusing a 2 from here. So 3 minus 2, we get 1. And over here, we have a 9. 9 minus 0. 9 take away nothing is still 9. That's why we have a 9 here. And we're keeping that little 1 there from 131. So our answer becomes 119. Now C, 704 plus 50. Now this one is pretty easy. All we have to do is add this 50 in the middle of 704. So we write a 5 in the middle there. And we're seeing we're adding 0 at the end to 4. So 0 plus 4 is what? It's 4. So we leave the 4 there, and we leave the 7 in front, and we get 754. So that's how to do these questions. I want you guys to do the rest of these for homework and use these to find out which letters here would match these answers that you get. And we'll use these letters to find out the answer to clue 2. And after you find clue 2, you're going to cross out the people who don't match the clue 2. Let's move on to clue 3. So through the spooky forest. So whilst on the castle trip, the children go on a trail through the spooky forest. Follow the calculation pathway to find out the height of the culprit. So let's do the first two together. So what do we have to do? So we are starting at the number 1042. Now we're moving through the forest. When we move through the forest and get to the next part of the forest, we have to add 100 to that. So adding 100 to that, we get 1142. Now we have to continue moving on to the next part of the spooky forest. Next part of the spooky forest, underneath this box, tells us to add 10. So adding 10 to the previous number here, we get 1152. So that 4 over here, we have to add a 1 there, and became a 5. Became 50. 1152. So that's how you do the first two. Now, I want you to do for homework the rest of these, fill it out. Make sure that you don't accidentally minus or plus the wrong thing. So double check your working out, please. Maybe get some working out paper and write it neatly to find out where you went wrong. It becomes a bit more harder over here. So adding 63, so add 63 to your previous, so what you got in this box, add 63. Now double, that means add the same number. So in this box, you would have got maybe a big number. Now you got to add the same number to that number, so that becomes 2 times bigger, okay? And once you get that 2 times bigger, you write it in this box. And eventually, after you do the last step, you'll get a final answer that you can just write inside in the middle of the big star. And that way, it will tell you how tall the person who did the bad thing is. I'll tell you the culprit is what tall. So how many centimeters tall he or she is. Because we don't know if it's a boy or girl yet. Right, on to clue 4. So clue 4 is unlock the tower. So the knight, Sir Rebrel, must solve the direction puzzles if he is to find the princess locked in the tower. Help him work out the puzzles to solve the clue. So we're going to do the first two together just to help you guys have an idea. Oh, it's not working. No, it's still not working. Why is that not working today? There it is. First two. So let's start with A. If I am facing north and I turn clockwise 1 right angle, which direction will I be facing? Now, first of all, imagine that the direction that you're facing right now is north. So your face is facing the computer. That direction is your north. Now, remember, on a compass, we have north, then it moves to east. We're moving clockwise direction. So imagine how a clock goes. So it'll start from here, and then go all the way around, like a big circle. So it goes here all the way around. That's the direction of the clock. So we're moving from north, and then we're going to face right. That'll be our east. Then we turn again, and now we're facing like the opposite of our computer, which is south. Then we turn again, and now we're facing to our left hand side, which is our west direction. And then if we make another turn, we come back to facing our computer. Okay, so for the first one, we only have to make one right angle turn clockwise. That means if we're facing our computer right now and it's north, we turn once more. We are now facing the right-hand side, which is east. So east is our answer. And hang on. So east is over here. That's how you spell east, E-A-S-T. Now let's do part B. So if I'm facing west, so I'm already starting with facing my left-hand side. So I'm facing the wall on the left-hand side, and I make a 90-degree anti-clockwise. Which direction will I be facing now? So if I start with facing my left-hand side now, and then I make a 90 degrees in the opposite direction of the clock, that means I move and I turn to face the wall. So to face the opposite direction of the computer now. So I'm facing away from the computer. Which direction is that? That would be south. And that's how you spell south. S-O-U-T-H. So if you don't understand how to do these types of questions, just repeat what I've done. So just repeat the part where I say how to work these out. For example, imagine that you're facing the direction that you're facing right now is north. So you're facing the computer or a laptop or maybe a TV or an iPad. And that direction is your north direction. And then you go around moving like a clock or opposite direction in clock, either way. Right, so I want you guys to have a try of C, D, E, F, and G. And then using those answers, you would find the answer to clue 4, where you'll circle the correct answer. So you'll find out whether I answered east how many times. The culprit is, if you answered east twice, the culprit is in the vulture group. If you said there were 2 souths, the culprit is in the eagle group. If you said I answered north twice, the culprit is in the harrier group. And if you answered west twice, the culprit is in the hawk group. So I hope that makes sense right there. So you just pick one of them, only one of them works. Now, clue 5, I believe this is the last clue, the final clue. So clue 5, give them a hand. So fingerprints, whoops, it's not loading, there it is. Fingerprints were discovered on the handles of the hutches where the birds of prey were kept. Solve the clues describing 3D shapes to work out whether the culprit was left or right-handed. So we might just try doing, I might let you have a try of the first one. I'll read it out loud first. Oops. A, I have 6 flat faces, 12 flat edges, and 8 vertices. All my faces are the same size. I am a what? So I want you to pause the video, have a try. Once you've had a try, unpause the video and we're going to go for the answer for the first one. Right, so let's go through the solutions for A. So A is a cube. Now, a cube has 6 flat sides, 6 flat faces and 12 flat edges and 8 vertices. So how to do these questions, it would be best if you could find like a little table of all the 3D shapes, all the common 3D shapes. Maybe search it up on the internet if you have it. Or maybe look through the previous weeks, because I'm pretty sure from the previous weeks of the term that we would have learnt about 3D shapes. Or if not, I believe we did it in the previous term, last term's homework, that where we learn about the different types of 3D shapes like cube, prisms, spheres, like a cone, like an ice cream cone. What else did we learn about? We learned about cylinders. So cylinders like a can of Coke, the metal bit of the Coke, like a soft drink can. That's a cylinder. Any of those would help you. Right, let's have a try of the second one as well. So I want you to have a try after I read through this. So B, I have one curved surface, no vertices. So that means no pointy bits and no edges. I am a what? Think about what's a tennis ball? Please pause the video and have a try. Right, let's go through B now. So B. So B is a sphere. Sphere is like a tennis ball, basketball, any type of ball. It's curved all over. It's got no pointy bits, no edges. And sphere is spelled S-P-H-E-R-E. Sphere. Now let's try C. So let me read this first. C, I have one curved surface, 2 flat surfaces, and 2 curved edges. I am a what? Please pause the video and have a try. Right, let's go through the solution for C. So C is, I am a cylinder. Cylinders have one curved surface, so it's round. Think of it as like your favorite soft drink can, maybe Fanta, Sunkiss, lemonade, Coca-Cola, in one of those little cans that you can put in the fridge, or sometimes you've seen in the fridge. You get from KFC or McDonald's or somewhere, or maybe from Coles. So that's what a cylinder is. Now, a cylinder has 2 flat surfaces. So at the top of the soft drink can, it's a bit flat, and the bottom as well. Sometimes it's a bit curved for soft drink cans. And it's got 2 curved edges around the top of the soft drink can. So like 2 sides on the top. One side on the top and one side at the bottom of the soft drink can. And how we spell cylinder is C-Y-L-I-N-D-E-R, cylinder. Right, so I want you guys to do question D and E for homework. And remember, we have these shapes here. So these shapes spell out the picture. So for example, this is a cylinder, this is a sphere, this is a cube, and we have a letter on top of each shape that we can use to make a sentence on the line here to answer clue 5. And once we've gotten all the words. We can use it to make a clue 5. And then finally, we can solve the mystery. So have you solved the mystery of who released the birds of prey at Eagleton Castle? That's for homework. We're going to go on and have a try of the addition and subtraction word problems. So we're going to try the first 3 together. Actually, I'm going to read the first 3. So at the end of reading each one out loud, I want you to pause the video and have a try. And after that, have a try of the next one, because we're going to move on to that and read it. And pause the video and have a try. And then we'll do the same thing for number 3 as well. We're going to read out loud, and we're going to pause the video and let you have a try. And then we're going to go for the answers for the first 3 together. Whoops, that did not work out very well. Yeah, there we go. So let's start with number 1. So John buys 52 pencils one week and 18 the following week. He gives 13 pencils to his friend. How many pencils does he have left? Please pause the video and have a try. Right, let's go on to number 2. Lydia has 75 marbles. She takes them to her friend's house. She loses 23 on the way and 14 in the house. How many does she have left? So that means she's lost 14 marbles inside the house, and she also loses 23 marbles on the way to her friend's house. So please pause the video and have a try. Right, let's move on to number 3. So Michael has a packet of biscuits. There are 24 in the packet. He gives 8 of the biscuits to some friends. He buys another 4 biscuits. How many biscuits does he have now? Please pause the video and have a try. Right, so let's go through the solutions for these 3 questions. So number 1, so we have John here who tries to buy some pencils. He buys 52 in the first week, so we have 52 on the line here, plus 18 pencils. Then after that, we have to take away 13 pencils. So this doesn't really look like a 2, but just imagine that was a 2. It looks more like a 7, I know, but this is 52. 52 plus 18 minus 13. What do we get in the end? We get 57 pencils. He has 57 pencils left. Now let's try number 2. So we have a girl here named Lydia. She has 75 marbles. She takes them to her friend's house, and she loses 23 on the way to her friend's house and 14 marbles in her friend's house. How many does she have left? So what we can do here is we can write the number sentence: 75, take away 23, take away 14. So it's quite long. And at the end, we can find how many marbles she has left. We find out that she has 38 marbles left. So that's how you do these 2 questions. We're going to move on to, actually, I might slow down a bit in case you guys haven't written this down yet. Right, let's move on to number 3 then. Number 3, so Michael has a packet of biscuits here. There are 24 inside the packet of biscuits. He gives 8 of the biscuits to some friends, and he buys another 4 biscuits. How many biscuits does he have now? So what we have to do here is we've got to find out how many he had at the start, which was 24. But then he gave away 8, so we've got to take away 8 biscuits. And then after he gave away the biscuits, he bought another 4. So we're going to add 4. Now at the end, we get 20 biscuits. So he now has 20 biscuits for Michael. So you have to write these number sentences and work it out for these types of questions. Now, can I get you guys to try question 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 for homework? And we'll just double check how you went with these. And we'll be double checking how you went for these questions. And yeah, remember to write a number sentence. So write all you're working out on the line below. For example, 156, right on the line there, empty space. And add or take away any of the numbers there. So make sure you understand what the question is. Read the question carefully. So, all right.